everybody, and welcome back to BRB Gaming. This is me, Stubbs / Stubborn Pixel.
Here with me, Thor.
And hey, I'm Fost from Good Enough for Me. How y'all doing? Welcome to the podcast. I'm taking I'm taking it from you, my man.
Yeah, you lead. You know what? You're the host today. I'm good taking a backseat, man.
I'm asking you questions now, I guess. Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Sure. Let's do
all right.
that.
First, I need to ask about your mustache. How's it growing? Look at that thing.
Yeah, you know, it's been growing pretty good. I can twist it while I'm talking here. I got my
whiplash shit going on.
I got my Alaskan man beard ready for my trip next week.
You're going on a big vacay. Did you decide on what device you're taking with you?
I think I'm going with the GPD XD Plus.
XD Plus. Okay.
XD Plus. That's a good choice. Just don't snap it in half. Mine started snapping in half. I threw some shade towards GPD once on that. I feel like I got a lot of dislikes on it because, I was like, "Oh, this piece of shit. You don't want this thing."
No good.
You know?
Well, I sent my GPD XD into a buddy out in Chicago, PsyOps, who actually runs the GPD repair Discord, GPD Central and GPD Android, and he actually fixed the hinge. So he made the hinge all not fucky.
Oh yeah, I talked to him. He offered me a really bad deal to buy this chassis of a GPD XD Plus. Hey, Si, if you're watching, man, I mean, you got a business going. You got it, my man. I'm going to keep the chassis, though, Si. I'm going to keep it.
Keep the chassis.
Yeah.
I think the prices work for him. You know, it is his...
it's discontinued, right? Like, it's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough. I was considering getting a Win 3 from him, the i7 model. It is, it's sitting at around $1,600 going through him, but he does
$1,600. Damn.
He does put in a 2 terabyte Western Digital upgrade. He does the repasting of the thermal on the CPU, the thermal paste.
Right, but you could buy 4 basic bitch Steam Decks for that. I mean, shit.
All of us have mixed feelings on GPD this week. Thor, how are you feeling?
There's been a little bit of corporate shit talk going on, which is always fun.
Like what? Like what constitutes shit talk in the corporate world?
So GPD has claimed essentially that AYN or Iron, whatever you want to call it, the manufacturer of the Odin that had their Indiegogo go up finally.
I call them AIN.
They're claiming that they're using like recycled chips from African phones. And not new Snapdragon 845 chips.
Okay,
so
all right.
This is a thing where you harvest chips from phones, right, and then reuse them, And basically, when you're doing that, when you're desoldering these chips, they kind of make them garbagey, because you have to heat them up so much to get the ball solder off and everything like that. And so the claim currently is that they're using recycled chips, and there's just been a little bit of corporate bitchiness. Just gonna say it, just a little bit of snippiness, snippy doodles. So
I think honestly they might just be a little bit prissy because they know Steam's coming for them. Gabe Newell said, "Oh, I'm gonna drop this for the price of a Switch," and now GPD and everyone else is shitting their pants.
They're freaking out.
The other fun part is in our Discord server, Retro Handhelds, we let another YouTuber and Taki talk a lot of this out recently. Ash from C4E Tech or whatever it is. We let him and Taki talk this out because there was claims of shilling and all that kind of stuff. And then GPD like semi-quoted but misquoted Ash in their corporate snippiness. It's been hilarious, man. Like they actually they're paying attention. They're lurking in RH and in Taki's server and stuff, right?
They're watching,
waiting for people to trash talk the Odin so they can use it in their internal fight or whatever you want to call it. It's been pretty funny.
Wow, I guess my comment about the handheld community Illuminati wasn't too far off then, I guess.
It's there.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's there. I've peeked over the fence once and I was like, oh no. Go back here to my safe place.
I've never had any bad interactions with any of these companies personally. I mean, even Powkitty, when they screw up my orders and stuff like that from AliExpress, which I half expect anyway because I'm using AliExpress. When they screw stuff up, they're like, "Oh, sorry," It's gonna take them 4 weeks to fix it.
How is AliExpress, by the way? I've never ordered anything. It looks awful.
It's fucking awful.
I ordered stuff from Wish, and it was also awful. Is it like the same thing but blue?
So Wish is like the black market version where you can buy horrible shit, like things that are called solvent traps, that are actually silencers for guns and shit like that. I mean, just awful stuff. AliExpress is like if Shenzhen just had an online storefront. So like all the chips and all of these handhelds and all that kind of stuff, but everything's is horribly translated into English. Everything is super duper sketchy. And it's sort of like Mercari as well, where you can put in an order and then that order will get canceled 6 weeks later. And you're kind of not guaranteed to get your money back. So
if I buy on AliExpress, I only go through like the legitimate sellers, like How Kitty themselves or like Ann Burnick themselves, and that's it. I don't really go outside of that because there's no guarantee that your order is ever going to show up. And then you got to go fight the store and be like, "Where's my order at?" And they're like, they either never respond. They're like, I don't
shouldn't
know.
have ordered from this website, my man. You should have known.
That's on you.
That's their customer service support. They're just like
cancellation policy, like the circus to go through to get your money back if something goes wrong is horrendous, because the website itself basically has to make a decision. It's not like Amazon Prime where you can hit, you get the item and then you hit return and it, and then you return it. It's not like that. There's a review process from people on the other side of the planet to determine that manually determine if you deserve to get your money back.
Yeah, well, I had no idea about this corporate hissy fit going on. That's pretty interesting. Wow.
There's always a little hissy fit. GPD had a little hissy fit with I believe it was Aya for the Aya Neo earlier. So kind of anybody they see it as a threat.
Well, like Taki was saying, he was on the cast back in December.
Yeah.
And he had mentioned that that GPD used to be a way more creative company. They had a more of a soul to them. And since their main creatives left, now they're kind of like more of this heartless corporation kind of vibe where they are here definitely to make money. They're seeing how they can make devices the cheapest, and then not really listening to people too much.
Their entire core crew skedaddled, didn't they? For like hardware design stuff? Yeah.
That's what I understand. Having said that, I love the Win 3 and I love, and I see the Max and that's awesome. But the GPD XP coming out, that is not a worthy successor.
Is that the one with the controller that pops off the side?
Yeah.
Yes. I've seen concept images for like a few years of or something. It's kind of ugly, right?
It's bad. That second controller that pops on is for MOBA games, right?
Right. It's meant for like PUBG,
and that's it. Like they made an entire secondary controller just for MOBAs, which is clearly designed only for like the Korean and Chinese space.
Right.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to sell it there, but man, they really hinged their design. And then they also wanted to be snippy about how the Snapdragon 845 that's going to be in the Odin, they're acting like it's not a much better chip than the 835, which is inaccurate.
It's a bunch of silliness. I really hope that they step up their game and GPD releases something worthy of the XD Plus, XD Plus 2, whatever it is.
XD Plus 2 would
just give me something with a hinge that doesn't, like I don't care what it is.
Breaking hinge.
You don't have to give me a screen on the device. Just give me a hinge. I don't even care.
So are both of you guys in the clamshell space? Is that where you are? Is that what you want?
I like clamshells.
It's secure, and I can toss it on the couch without fearing, for the whole thing. Yeah,
that's fair. So what else is going on in our space, man? We had Russ from Retro Game Core join our server recently. We're very happy to have him.
Russ, do it, buddy.
Yeah, he's really getting it. I'm really proud of him. He's such a nice guy too.
We've sort of integrated him a bit more, and we have a little RGC space, a category now for people to come talk.
And then the Odin Indiegogo finally happened.
Right.
I see a lot of people who are either really on board or not on board at all. I imagine it's because the company hasn't been super forthcoming, and only one guy has the thing.
Yeah.
Maybe they should start sending it out to more people, perhaps, perhaps someone like me, or you, or someone. So that's the level of distrust.
Literally
a lot of
anybody.
People, they were burned by like Smock. Remember Smoxy? You remember that?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
We were
That's some real memory
yeah.
right there. That's a throwback.
AYN.
Yeah.
Send your PCB dev unit out to Fost. Good enough for me.
Man. I'll do whatever, man.
That's
do whatever for that thing.
That's kind of what people are saying right now, or Taki specifically. I've been asking him because we also make a lot of the custom firmware for several of these devices, Android specifically, and there's a potential for me to be getting a circuit board, a PCB, before official launch, so we can get started on custom firmware development. So I've been in his ear about that one. I've been bugging the shit out of him. So.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely get Lineage. Nice clean install of Android on these things.
Open source,
and then hopefully get some sort of front end going, so you boot the device up and then it just launches into your front end. Pick your game, good to go.
Yeah, the big request right now from a lot of people is the ability to launch their retro games from the launcher.
Oh yeah,
they want to be able to set it up like an app. So we're working on that in secret. And in fact, by the time this podcast comes out, I'll know whether or not I'm getting a PCB. So that's it. I should be having that information this weekend.
That'll be exciting.
Oh yeah.
So good enough for me. So tell me about your channel, man. Like I saw you. I think maybe it's on Facebook. I first saw your videos, and I'm like, what the hell is this?
Oh, that's fun.
I click on it, and I'm like, there's like a VHS tape, like a Full House intro.
Oh yeah, no, I love Full House. Yeah, you wouldn't believe how much research went into trying to figure out all like the little things about it. Funny enough, it's like I feel like people don't remember what VHSs actually looked like because they're not heavily damaged all the time. You know what I mean? Like the modern version of it, it's like, oh yeah, you got these scan lines and like folds in the tape. But like when I was watching Steve Irwin, it was perfectly fine. A little saturated, but a little fine.
Yeah.
But no, I'm an open book, man. Shoot me whatever questions you got. I do weird stuff for sure.
I like it. It's a breath of fresh air. I was like, I want more of this. It's so weird and like in a funny, perfect kind of way that I want to see more of this. And so it's kind of addicting to watch all your videos because they just get stranger. And I love that. Like, how can you go even deeper?
October is a fun month. There's a lot of fake blood to buy, so expect a lot of blood.
Just like, are you gonna put on like a trench coat and just be covered, just a bucket of blood falling on you?
You know what? I have a lot of plans actually. A little bit of blood here, a little bit of blood here. Perhaps you'll walk into me in the bathroom, I'm face down in a puddle of blood. Who knows? Anything's an option.
That's fantastic. I can't wait. Now you somehow have the unique ability to combine the weird and macabre with a thorough device review.
Would you call it thorough? Would you call me saying this is a piece of shit thorough?
I'd say.
I mean, if that's thorough, then yeah, I'm the most thorough man on the planet. Yeah.
Can you be thorough and concise at the same time? Is that
concise is probably a little more. Yeah.
Concise, thorough. I'm trying to compliment you. Just
take it. Just take the compliment. Let it go.
No. Like you combine these two things, like just reviewing a handheld, like the 351V or the 300X.
That's one of my favorite ones. Yeah, that's one of my favorite ones. Yeah,
with like all of this other imagery and like you with the bird head on. And I'm just intrigued.
I've got like, you wouldn't believe how many sets of costumes and characters are in my closet. I've been adding to it slowly. At some point here, I'm going to become a doctor and I got to do something with that. But that, I got a whole lot of shit in the closet.
Show me your bird head. Who is this?
Oh, that's stashed away in a box right now. I just finished moving and I had an ant infestation, if you could believe it, like right here. Hundreds of them. I learned a lot in these last couple of days.
And I have ants on my side of the family too, but no one's going to see
oh shit
footage.
I love them so much. Oh.
So you can pretend that you got the bird head out because this is all audio in the end.
Yeah.
So what is this? God. Who is this guy? Who's Mr.
So,
Hawk?
do you want a concise story about some characters? You're funny.
Yeah,
or a thorough one.
The bird thing came from shit. It's gonna sound so stupid, but there's a lot of lore to the universe of my videos, right? Because there's like, if you look deep enough, you'll find it. But the bird, the vulture man, right? So he's this character. Believe it or not, he was costume for costume, like clothes for clothes. The mask is actually from GTA Online. It's like a custom character, right? And then I was like,
Wow.
okay, well, how can I bring this? So I bought a $15 suit off Wish and a tie I had in my closet for like 10 years. And I just made it happen, you know?
Made the dream happen.
Making shit come alive, you know? So
making fantasy a reality.
Yeah. You know what? I tried it, but it's remarkably hard to drive with that thing on since you can barely breathe or see. So don't try that at home, kids.
Don't do that.
Police are probably like, do we pull this guy over?
I went out once to a very remote area, like a forest, and I was really hoping people didn't see me or kidnap me, because we do have encampments where I live, and I don't go out there anymore, unfortunately.
Oh no.
They're going to be like, why is this guy dressed as a chef in 98-degree weather out here? What's he doing in the forest? You know?
With the bird head.
Can you imagine getting pulled over with that thing on?
Oh,
the explanation that you would have to concoct to not go to jail.
You know what? I've thought about that, and I've thought about my answer. It's either between being very honest or incredibly deadpan about it. I'm like, oh yeah, you know, I'm just.
I feel like deadpan would just piss him off. I feel like that's how you get tasered, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think the cops in this area are pretty cool, so they might let me go, but they might even want a picture with me. Who's to say? One time I had a person, he was like, "You look famous." I was like, "Yeah, okay, whatever that means," you know. I was just in line at Walmart, so that's the funny part. You know, are you famous? I'm like, a little bit. I don't know.
I think radical honesty would be the way to go. By the way,
yeah. Yeah.
Like, sir,
I'm just filming.
I'm a YouTuber. All right, I swear.
I'm a YouTuber. Okay, it's serious business here. I'm out.
Serious.
You think I'm out here in 98-degree weather in a red suit because I want to be? That's
no,
son of a bitch.
It's a bit.
Use the word influencer. I'm an
influencer.
Of a generation.
I'm an influencer in the handheld space, the retro.
God,
handheld
if I said that, man, I'd be disappointed with myself, honestly, man.
We'll be like, oh yeah, what can you do for me? And I could be like, oh, I can show you how to run GoldenEye at 60 FPS. So fuck you. How about that?
So, what's your current leader? What's your favorite handheld so far, Fost?
That's fun, actually. That's a good question. I've been on my Switch for the last couple of days playing No More Heroes 3. It's really good, but I think my most favorite right now is probably going to be the GPD Win Max that I've been using. I had a Win 2 at one point that I thought I was going to love, but when you play anything on it, it burns your hands, you know?
I heard that.
And it gets really loud. It's awful. Never buy one. It's outclassed by everything else on the market. So don't even pay it attention. GPD, send me a new one, though. If you guys are looking at course. Sponsorship. I'll lie. I'll say whatever you want me to. You know?
Yeah,
we'll get Fox on and pester him about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Meanwhile, our buddy Eames, who used to be on the podcast, he loves his Win 2. He can't stop talking about it. He's like, it's perfect. I can use it in every situation. Plays GameCube, but maybe his like hands just are cold all the time, and so the warmth is.
He is skinny. He's super skinny.
It was mostly the noise for me, honestly. I could get over the heat. I could wear oven mitts or something. It'd be fine. But the noise it's incredible. It's like I'm playing like a PSP game at like 4 times resolution. It's like a jet engine. It's just going off in my room. You know,
it's no good.
Yeah, but at that point, where you've taken the time to dip your fingers into asbestos, you know, and then the noise to kick up. All right. Come on.
Wait, where'd the asbestos come from?
Yeah.
You shouldn't be touching asbestos.
Yeah.
Because it's an insulator.
Asbestos.
You didn't know that?
I think we have some in our ceilings, and I'm not going to drill through there and be like,
asbestos is an insulator. That's why they wrapped it around like vents and stuff like that. But then it turns out it makes your kid like grow up with fingers coming out of his forehead or whatever.
Oh, perfect. Okay. You know what, GPD, if you guys, they probably don't watch this, do they? Do they watch this?
They might listen to it.
They're lurking.
GPD is lurking. Yeah. Okay, well, guys, if GPD's listening, someone needs to tell them, if you guys make another GPD Win 2 again, can you make it so when I stick my Switch charger in, it doesn't just make the system not work? Like, if you're trying to be a consumer product, can you imagine? Like, this is like a Joy-Con level issue, okay? Like, because they didn't give me a 65-watt charging box. I had to order one and then figure out, and then I had to unplug the battery, and then I had to reseal it, and I lost 5 screws. Like, there's so much shit you have to do to fix it, you know? So,
but why is it their fault though that you use your Switch charger and it doesn't work? Because I've had the same thing where certain chargers just don't work with my products. GPD especially, the original XD does not like having more than like 2 amps of power to it. Otherwise,
I know that for sure. Yeah. No, but I don't know. I just feel like if it doesn't work, just don't let it charge. I don't know. I bought it off of Facebook, off of a woman from Minnesota. Okay, that didn't know.
How much you paid for it? Was it good deal?
Shit. I think it was like $450.
That's not bad.
You know, it's really good for the price, but it was a.
Well, a lot of these devices don't have very good overvolt or surge protection built into the circuit boards.
Retroid Pocket 2.
RP2.
I heard horror stories about the battery like exploding or melting or like expanding the shell, and that's crazy. So
yeah, it's just growing into its final form. That's all that's about.
Well, we're finally getting good overvolt protection in this next generation of handhelds, though, with the fast charging, getting that stuff certified for the actual USB-C. Because most of these devices just have a USB 2.0 hub with a C connector on it
to be like hip and modern, but in reality, it's all old technology. And so you're like, cool, I can plug this into my like Samsung charger. No,
don't do it.
Don't do that.
We had so many people plug RP2s into like ultra fast chargers, like 30 watt and above chargers. Ooh. Yeah, I mean nothing exploded, but
yeah, just some deep drained batteries. People are like, oh, it's dead forever. No, just plug it into your USB port in your computer for like 5 minutes. You're good. So what's your thoughts on the RP2, man?
Me? Oh yeah, we're talking about the Retroid Pocket 2, right?
Retroid Pocket 2.
Oh, it looks like a children's toy, and it's plastic, it looks like. But I don't own one because... I
got 2 for sale.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the first one I was going to buy back in the day when I was... Yeah. Oh, wow, that's pretty, yeah.
$70 plus shipping. Not a big deal.
Shilling yourself. Jesus Christ.
I can do what I want.
Listen, you know what? The RP2... cool and all, but I personally would like to talk about my the shittiest thing I've got. I'm sorry.
All right.
Hey guys, what's up? This is the RG300X, and I listen. My review on this thing, you could say it was concise in the way that I ripped on the trailer for this thing. It was showing Street Fighter 5 PC footage or some shit, and it was like I was like, okay, so it doesn't actually play Street Fighter 5 if you can believe it. But I got to tell you, the best part about the RG300X, it does come with Super Mario 15, which is that's right,
finally,
yeah. They replaced Fred Flintstone with like Mario on it. It's really great. High quality.
Way better than this stupid Game & Watch that only plays Mario 1 and Mario the Lost Levels.
Can't you hack that thing, right?
I heard.
You can hack it. Yeah, you can.
It also plays Ball Game. Look at that.
And it tells the time, right?
It does. It tells you the time every day.
I think I'll stick with my RGB 10 Max. Thank you very much. At this point,
I'm getting rid of that too.
You getting rid of it, man? He had this
give me
addiction
Gen 3
for the last
Give me Gen
year.
3. I want the Odin. I want the Steam Deck. I want the Retroid Pocket 3. And I want my RG552.
I don't want the Steam Deck. I canceled my pre-order.
Oh, I love the Steam Deck. You know, that thing is like it's just fucking. It's this big though, right?
Yeah,
it's like
it's a murder weapon.
Everyone's like, I can't wait to play emulators on it, and they're talking like, oh, I want to play Game Boy Advance. I'm like, do you really want to drag this thing outside?
The space station.
You couldn't listen. You can barely take your phone out in your hand in my part of town and not get robbed, right? So you've got this fucking brick.
Yeah.
Rob me.
Like the robber's gonna have to ask you what it is and then take it from you because they don't know what the hell this thing is, right?
Like I can't. Yeah, they're probably not going to take it from you. They can barely fit that through.
They can barely. Where's the robber going to put it?
Not only does it look expensive, though, it's going to slow you down. It's big enough to slow you down, actively slow you down.
It's true. If you need to run away suddenly, and like you're not going to leave your Steam Deck, that costs $600. You're going to get killed. The murderer is going to get you.
I'll die for that Steam Deck, man. Like I'm real ride or die for that Steam Deck.
We're going to see the headlines. It's going to be
what is the headline going to say? What is it going to?
It's going to say computer enthusiast dies.
You destroy it just so they can't have it, you know?
You know what? I've thought about that angle a lot. That's funny. I broke it so they couldn't have it.
Right.
Dies defending their beloved Steam Deck. They were in the middle of installing Arch Linux on it, a custom firmware OS.
The news is saying this. The news anchors have no idea what the hell you're saying. Like they don't know what Linux is.
Just repeat words. That's all they do.
The robber's like, give me your money, give me all your belongings. And you're like, I'm in the middle of maximizing my Dark Souls playthrough. Like, I'm optimizing my settings right now. Like, right now. What do you want? Dead.
You know what? What you just said right there, I think that's a really good caveat into... You were asking about my channel before, right? You're...
yeah.
Okay, so when I love Russ,
at some point
he is such a good guy, and then I look at Taki and everyone else, and I think the one thing I try and never do is this thing has a 805 something processor, blah blah blah. Like they're naming numbers, right? And everyone in the comments is like, "Oh yeah, I know what that is, guys." They don't. Yeah. They don't know what the hell that is. I barely know what the hell that is. So I'm like, hey, this thing can play Nintendogs. That's a better way of saying it. You know what I mean? Like it'll, you know. Yeah. I never want to go into those numbers. It's like some guys in the comments are like, "Oh yeah, look at this guy. He doesn't know what the hell he's talking." You're right. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Well, there's definitely a spectrum on the users. You know.
Yeah, I like everyone else's setup because Russ has got all these like pots and pans, and then like Retro Dodo's got these like neon lights in the background, and me, I've got like a green screen, and it's really
fantastic.
But there is that spectrum of user. I would say the vast majority of people don't give a shit about the specs.
They don't want the techie stuff.
They just want to know if it can play like Fortnite or something. You know?
Right.
Like,
right. Do you like it?
Or play that one random specific game that only they like that was on the Saturn.
Yeah.
You know?
Everybody wants to know, is this device worth buying?
Yeah.
That's all they really care about. Is it worth buying? You're somebody who has the device. Please tell me in your own words, is it worth buying?
Yeah.
In whatever way you want. And I think if you can accomplish that, then you win.
Well, and there is that fulcrum too, like where the user gets to a certain point to where they're finally knowledgeable enough about the space that then they give a shit about the specs, right? But the run up to that is vast. So you're right. The vast majority of people, in my opinion, they don't care. They just want to know if we'll play Battletoads or whatever. You know, it just.
And usually I'm one of those people too. I'm like, just show me if it's cool. But for some reason, I'm caught up in the Odin hype, and I'm like researching like Dimensity 900 versus Snapdragon 845 chips, like researching every article and video out there, like poring over it. Why? Because I pre-ordered both things, both versions. I didn't know which one is better, and I really want to cancel one, but I can't because I can't say for sure that one's better than the other. I just don't know. So
I was gonna pre-order it, and then I was just like, I'm just gonna go buy a Razer Kishi, you know. I've got a Google Pixel 3A or whatever the hell you see, you know. So it's good enough to run like GameCube stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Can it run GameCube? I mean, that's a pretty good way of
that's the bar.
That's good. Yeah.
That's the Gen 3 bar.
Well, Stubbs and I definitely have the Kishi as well, and I always try to teach people that it's the device you use, you know, and everything with cameras, all that kind of stuff. It's what you're actually going to use. If you drag your phone around everywhere with you, you know, if you drag that Kishi around with you everywhere and it's worth it, then go for it. Then that's $60.
In a robbery situation, the Kishi's light enough, you're going to run away from the murderer.
Right.
I don't know why they're automatically going to be killing you, but like, you know, it can end there real fast. So, you know, this, and you can use it as a weapon too. Like the Kishi is sort of like a nunchuck.
Yeah, you can like put it around them, you know, like choke them out, maybe. Perhaps.
Choke them out, yeah.
You can definitely like choke them like Hitman style.
Say uncle.
You know, so that's my first thought is always like in a horrible crisis situation, can I survive with this device? So
is that what we're rating the devices on? Whether or not someone's going to rob you for it? Well, thanks for giving me a new idea. I'm going to start rating these things based on, can you kill your assailant with this? RG300X? No, I can't kill my assailant with unless you shove it down his fucking throat, right? Like,
so your value for your money, you could shove it down its fucking throat. But your value for your money there is minimal, I think. You're going to need a bigger device. I think the Win Max, murder weapon, easy.
Anbernick needs to start stepping up their game on self-defense consoles, right? Like, I'm just looking at this thing. I'm just like, what can you do with it?
Like, what can you do with it? Is there a 10,000 milliamp battery pack attached to it that you can use to charge your phone? No. Right. No. Can you smack people in the face with it and actually, you know, defend yourself?
Oh, what was that handheld? That was also like a battery pack too. Did you remember?
The Power
yeah.
Oh my gosh, garbage.
Kind of cool, like in a stocking stuffer on Christmas type situation, but you know.
Yeah, it's cool in a I should buy one and send it to Stubbs and be like, that's what you get for your birthday. You know.
I don't know why anyone would buy that. No. I really don't.
Says the man who bought the chicken handheld.
Hey now, I also bought the V6 power bank handheld. Okay.
Oh my God.
It was like $10. It's showing up next week while I'm in Alaska.
Shit, you're going to Alaska for a vacation, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to go and be in the woods and play handhelds and fish maybe.
I don't know if you look at like the retro handheld Facebook page or anything like that, but I don't know. I think it's just a peeve, like someone... okay, so if you go to like the Nintendo Switch Reddit, right? Someone will take their Switch to the beach, and I just think that's weird as shit, right?
Yeah.
Am I the only one who thinks, man, this man got his phone out, and then he got his Switch, and he's out there with his family, but he's like, oh yeah, I'm playing Animal Crossing, boys. I got to show off my shit.
Let's go.
You know?
Yeah, they're not showing... They're not showing like the abandoned children just outside the frame, just outside the shot.
It's like I saw this guy on like a Stadia Reddit. Stadia, ooh, yeah. No one really used it, but there was one guy who used it, and he's like, "Hey guys, look at this! I can use Stadia at my family reunion." And I'm like, "Oh wow." I don't think he was being ironic though.
People always want to like they want to know every use case. So like someone out there appreciates it. Like,
you want to ignore your mother-in-law? Stadia.
Yeah, Stadia. Ignore your mother-in-law. That's the tagline. That's perfect. I'm not going to take pictures of myself playing in the woods with handhelds, and I'm not going to be playing in the woods with handhelds. I'll be doing it at night, you know, in the cabin. There's nothing else to do except for like hope the bears don't eat me and break in. But I have seen that on the Facebook group where people just post tons of shots of like their RP2 like on a log, like on a stump, and they take like glamour shots with it, like do a whole photo shoot, and I'm like. Actually, I'm pretty impressed with that. I'm like, oh, that's really cool. I wish I would have thought of that. Like
going in the water with your son. He's been asking you for 6 months to hang out with him. You know, like he's still on his Stadia. You know, whatever. I don't know. I just think it's weird for sure.
Yeah,
I take mine camping. Like I used to take the RP2 camping last year specifically, but that's just. I mean, we're out there for the whole weekend, and my kid.
Oh no,
she entertains herself. You know, she goes out and gets like thousands of acorns and puts them in a box or whatever weird shit kids do, you know. And I'll just play video games, whatever.
And I'm just with my high school buddies. There's going to be no kids, no family there, no wives, just handhelds and a couple dudes looking for a good time. Hey.
The framing of that. Thank you for that.
It's the game you play when you're out in the woods with your buddies is who can run to the outhouse first in the morning.
I like this devolution of the tech talk, honestly. You know, it went from holy shit, RG300X is awful to me and my boys take turns shitting in the woods.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You never know. All right, let's talk hype handhelds. Fost, what handheld are you the most hyped for currently that you don't have?
Oh, well, there's a lot I don't have, and there's a lot that isn't coming out right now. But I want the Odin for sure. I'm saying the Odin because that's really the only thing I can basically afford at this point. Because I wanted like an Aya Neo, or I wanted like a GPD Win 3, and I'm like, wow, that's $1,200. How many more Cheetah shirts can I buy for $1,200? And that's how I kind of measure it.
Yeah. Ideally, your whole closet's filled with Cheetah shirts like Steve Jobs and the turtlenecks.
I've got 2 or 3 Hawaiian shirts, a couple of black ones. That's pretty much it. Unless you want to count the chef outfit that I occasionally put on to cook spaghetti. So, that's...
Do you, please tell me, are you in your home by yourself with the chef outfit cooking spaghetti?
I just cook spaghetti by myself, and I think it's a fun gag. Me and a friend, sometimes we cook. Yeah, sometimes it's a fun gag. Because I've got like spare hats and stuff.
I like that. You should have cameras on 24/7 and then like do like a reality TV show.
There it is. Twitch live stream, retro gaming and spaghetti.
There are so many private weird videos that aren't related to like tech that are like unlisted and stuff. And some of those had more heavy usage of the, I would say, the chef character,
Can you accidentally list one of those just on your regular
yeah, so one time I made don't worry, I'll share it out if someone wants it. I got a DM once from someone, I think they were from like the Philippines, and they DM'd me on Twitter and they were like, hey, listen, are you a film student? Your stuff is really good and bizarre and everything and blah blah. And they were really nice about it because I had never gotten anything up to that point. And I was like, no, I'm not a film student. I didn't go to college for that, surprisingly. But apparently I'm some sort of like James Gunn of YouTube content creation, I guess.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But I guess they really enjoyed the time when I made a banana bread sandwich. You could say that. I guess it was a sandwich. In the way that it has 2 pieces of bread, but everything in the sandwich, including the bread, was rotten. So, that's the reaction I'm looking for, boys. That's the shit. No, it was nasty. I took a bite just for views. Didn't get a lot of views, but I still view it as a really good memory.
Please DM that to me. Let me review this. That answered every question I ever had about you. Thank you. It's good to know you. I can't wait. I want to go deeper now. Okay. What was your most horrible childhood memory?
Oh man, that is a really good one. I'm gonna spin this with a little bit of lighthearted stuff. I almost drowned. I was at the bottom. Everything could have ended right there at the age of 7 for old Fosty here. But well, actually, no. There was another kid who did a backflip into me, and now I got like a scar right here. This kid here was in a bounce house with me, and he did like a flip. My life's full of interesting situations. Yeah.
I'm sorry I asked about this. Thank you for sharing. Wow.
With me, you always get more than you bargained for, or sometimes you don't get very much. It's between very little to too much.
Either thorough or concise.
That asshole kid in the bouncy house. You're just trying to have fun in your bouncy house.
It was one solid kick. Honestly, I have to give it to him. If I was rating that kick, it was really good.
You did a good job. Well, I'm glad you're okay. I'm glad you didn't drown. No bouncy house death. And you're alive today to tell the story.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Some would say I'm an influential figure in this day and age, a sort of leader, if you will.
You're the president of...
Am I the president? That's something new. Okay, I've never been called the president. I've been called all sorts of things. Fucking asshole. I've never been called the president.
I try to create sort of narcissistic syndromes in anyone I speak with and just sort of build them up. Look what I did with Thor. I mean,
yeah, he called me an influencer the other day. Believe that or not. Yeah. I was in the Odin channel talking about certain stuff.
He's an asshole.
I know. I'm just a fucking prick. I was in the Odin channel talking about Odin stuff, right? And then people were like, "Oh, Thor got an Odin, so I'm going to get an Odin." I was like, "Wait, what? Seriously?" And then Stubbs inflated my ego by then calling me an influencer at that point.
You are, yeah. You're in the culture now.
There's not very many people in this whole thing, right? Like, there's not a lot of mobile characters.
And yet somehow there's still like drama, you know?
There is. It's fun.
You guys have opened my eyes to the drama because I had no idea. Now I'm aware of it.
I think we've had a good chat tonight. I think we got to know you a little bit, Fost.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. I've learned a lot, and now you've given me some ideas. Now I just want to use an excessive amount of blood with whatever I do.
Yes.
So we've learned a lot. Yeah.
Get weird.
Let's get super weird. I think with that, we should call it. This has been BRB Gaming Podcast. I'm Stubborn Pixel.
And I'm Thor.
And I'm Fost.
And we'll see you next time.